Every time somebody screws around and says something to you, I guess you just end up getting a new car and say, all right, cool. And you make it, and you wrap it pink to piss them off even more. So
Ex-
you're a legend. You're a legend for that. I made decent amount of money trading on my own, and then I ended up losing it all within 24 hours.
Wow.
So it's been a year, exactly 1 year since I joined the Set and Forget the community.
Mhm.
And since then to now, I've had payouts over 20K, and I've probably been denied payouts over 40K. To anybody out there that doubts you, just bloody join the community and see for yourself. You've opened up my eyes, honestly. Cut out all the bullshit, all the noise, and all of that sort of stuff, and it's just made it a lot easier for me. Was that you just made everything so simple? You cut out all the bullshit. I know quite a few traders, these ICT traders and all of these guys. I look at them and I say, you guys really don't know what the hell you're doing, do you?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Swing Trading Lab success story. In this call, we have Faisal, which this person is from the UK, and they have successfully made over $20,000 trading by using the set and forget strategy. We have him here in the waiting room. Let's let him in. I want to hear the story on how the strategy helped them reach this goal that now they have had.
Hello, Alex.
Hey, how's it
Can
going,
you?
Faisal?
I'm good. I'm good.
Is that how you pronounce your name, Faisal?
Faisal.
Faisal. Okay,
Yeah,
pleasure meeting you.
Faisal.
How's
Likewise, likewise. I've actually met you in person before. When you came over to the UK and you did the rocket tour.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I saw you then, in Central. Yeah, it was nice to meet
Wow.
you then as well. But I didn't really get to speak to you, so this is me actually getting to speak to you, so it's great.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Amazing.
it's been a long time since that event.
It has, it has. A lot has changed since then as well.
So, first of all, I want people to understand, who you are, your story, where you were before trading, how you came across
Mhm.
trading, and your experience as a whole using the strategy and why, like where you had the turning point, right? So,
Yeah,
first of all, once again, thank you for being on this call. We really do appreciate that. And I mean, if you want to go ahead and give the people a little bit of just some
yeah.
background, some context on you.
Yeah, no, no, no. Appreciate you joining this call as well, taking the time out of your day as well, your weekend. So with me, so I started trading, let's say, just under 2 years ago, and it was always just a side hustle kind of thing for me. I'm successful in my own field. I'm a project manager. I'm doing okay, I would say. And I just came across trading online. So, one of these guys that sell you signals,
Yes,
right?
of
That's
course.
how I got introduced to trading. So I thought, okay, you know what? Let me just try this signal group or whatever it is and see if I can make some money. So I tried it, made some money, lost some money. I'm not going to call out anybody, but it wasn't the best. And from there, I just got intrigued and I just started learning more and more and more. Made some wins, made some losses. I made decent amount of money trading on my own, and then I ended up losing it all within 24 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a steep learning curve, let's say, but it's one that's definitely necessary, I think. And then I just came across your videos, just going online, how things just get tagged to you and stuff like that. And I came across you. You seem genuine, went through your videos. And the beauty of, going through your YouTube videos initially was that you just made everything so simple. You
Mhm.
cut out all the bullshit. I know quite a few traders, these ICT traders and all of these guys. These guys, honestly, the type of stuff that they'll come up with are, order block this, fair value gap that. I look at them and I say, you guys really don't know what the hell you're doing, do you? Just making up shit. And yeah, I just looked at them like they're stupid, really, right? And I don't know. And then I came across your course. I spoke to you on Instagram, I guess, or one of your team, and I just bought the set and forget strategy and learned from there. And within, I would say, so it's been a year, exactly 1 year since I joined the set and forget strategy, the community.
Mhm.
And since then to now, I've had payouts over 20K, and I've probably been denied payouts over 40K.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I got screwed over by a couple of these prop firms, but now I'm in a position where I'm on a I'm doing a little challenge for myself where I'm trying to get as many prop firms as I can underneath my belt,
Mhm.
and I'm also going to start trading my own personal account as well, which I haven't done before. So that was something I wanted to speak to you about, personal accounts versus prop firms, the benefits, pros and cons. I mean, obviously, prop firms, I look at it as like free money from prop firms. Personal account, I've just never dived into it properly. So yeah,
Sure.
that's a little bit about me, anyways. How I got into trading. You've opened up my eyes, honestly. Cut out all the bullshit, all the noise, and all of that sort of stuff, and it's just made it a lot easier for me. So I think learned by, I've learned through your strategy and not learned through losses, if that makes sense. So I
Mhm.
avoided all of the things that I probably would have done wrong and made all the losses just by following your strategy. So it just made it a lot clearer for me.
Wow, that's crazy. And when you started with a strategy, you had any prior knowledge other than the
Nothing,
signals, but nothing other than that.
nothing.
And then how old are you now?
Ah, I knew you was going to ask this question. I was going to avoid this one. I'm 39.
39. Why avoid the question,
Yeah.
man? You're still young. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, no, no. I feel young.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes.
obviously, you didn't come across trading like the majority, like myself, right? Like at 20 years old, but like
Mm,
you still managed to be able to learn it, right? So like there's a
yeah.
lot of people out there, that are not in their 20s and they're in their 30s,
Mm.
which I'm almost there already. I'm already feel like I'm getting there.
No, no, no. You're good. You're good.
So they think that there is a friction, right? That just because they didn't get it because they're in high school or straight out of college, that they would not be able to learn it or understand the skill. So what would you say to people that haven't?
That's not the case. That's not the case. If anything, being a little bit older works in your favor. It just depends on the person, really. So you can have somebody that's 18 that could be as wise as somebody that's, in their late 30s, 40s. And you can have somebody that's in their 40s that could be immature and not be able to grasp anything. So it comes down to the individual. But generally, if you just want to generalize, they would be more mature. So they would be less, how can I say, not in a rush to make it.
Hmm.
I feel as if people that just jump onto trading, they just think they're going to get rich overnight. I think with somebody that comes into the game a little bit later, or somebody that's established themselves as a professional, they would then pace themselves and understand that this isn't going to happen overnight. So, it's slowly but surely. Whereas I think the younger people, they would just, they will try one thing, try flip their account, or get 10 grand from someone and just think that they're going to make a meal just like that. It's not going to happen. You're going to have your hiccups. You have to do it slowly, slowly, slowly. So I think somebody that's a little bit older, me personally, I think they're a bit more mature and understand what they're getting into. And as long as you've got a good head on your shoulders, you can learn something new, right? I can't believe, no, no, not in a disrespectful way or anything, that I learned from somebody that was as young as
Yeah.
and I've seen you over the last 2 years mature so much. You've grown in front of my eyes in terms of your approach to things that it just goes to show, experience and time, you know, it pays dividends.
I really do appreciate that because honestly, like I understand that this has no age, this has no gender, this has no color. This is just black and white. Just it's
Yeah,
this, you either get it or you don't. So I definitely do
yeah,
agree.
exactly.
I think that the person that I am now, I am a completely different person than where I was 2 years ago. Like I think I'm
Mm,
just more mature as a person. I think that like my way of even trading is just completely different. Like I take things more for just like more nonchalant, right? And that
mm,
takes time, right? You can't really teach that mindset. It's kind of what you said. Like if you have a good head on your shoulders and you kind of understand you're not going to get rich overnight, you're pretty much already at an
mm,
advantage compared to somebody else. But taking it back a couple steps into your story. So obviously, you had the signals that kind of gave you that bad first rep of trading and you still kept going. As you were learning the
mm.
strategy, what would you say was the biggest difficulty that you had when it comes to like learning the technicals? Like what was that turning point that you had that it took you some time before you actually got it?
I always thought I understood market structure, and I think majority of the traders out there, they'll say, yeah, they understand market structure, but a lot of them, I would say they don't. I would argue that they don't. The way that you broke down just, simple high lows, market structure, understanding exactly where you are. So, the mistake that I would make before, I'll be right about the trend, I'll be right about the direction. Where am I getting in? Why am I getting in there? I think that gave me a lot of clarity. Your strategy and your approach to things. It was just logical. You just broke it down, just made it seem common sense. And when I would reflect back on the trades that I took prior to, your guidance and what the course offered, I would just say, why the hell did I take that trade? Okay, fine. The market was bearish, let's say, for example, and it was going down. But I just got into the wrong point. I went into the lowest low point to try and catch a sell.
Mm,
And the other thing is, understanding what am I risking, why am I risking, and I'm cool with it. A lot of people that I've spoken to, and this is just within my inner circle, they want to trade and they start trading, but they're not okay losing.
yeah.
So, the moment that, the trade starts reversing on them or something happens to them, they start getting afraid and, they close out or they act on impulse and it would affect the rest of their trades, maybe the other next month or two worth of trades, just because they had one or two bad, trades. Because they're not okay with losing the money. Now, me, I'm not emotionally attached to the money, especially the prop firm money, anyways. I just understand that that's not my cash. It's okay. Worst comes to worst, okay, my account goes. Get another one. If I'm good enough, if I think I'm good enough, why can't I pass the challenge again? So, me not being emotionally attached to money, this is just me as a whole. It's not just trading. I'm just not emotionally attached to money. It just doesn't. If I lose money, I lose money. If I make money, I make money. It's okay. Life goes on.
So you've already kind of had that mindset, so that's why you can normalize it a lot easier. That's huge.
Yes.
That gives
Yeah.
you a major advantage compared to anybody else. So before you pass your prop firm account, how many challenges did you actually fail before passing?
I didn't fail some challenge.
No
I was lucky.
way.
Yeah. So what happened was, I was doing my own. I was using my own funds before. Very, very minor. When I say I was using my own funds, I was just testing things. So I'd put in like $500 or a grand or whatever, and I would try stuff. Okay, and I would just accept that I'm going to lose this money, but I'm going to learn. And I didn't do it on a demo account because you need to have that feeling of something that's at stake. Demo, you could enter into 15 trades and they don't care about it. You're not going to learn anything. But as soon as you put even $100 behind it or 500, whatever it might be, that's real money. And you don't want to lose it. And it also helps you define who you are as well. So, yeah, so I didn't actually, I started following your strategy, right? And I took the challenge. I passed. And I got some payouts. And then they restricted my account to, you could only trade 1% or whatever it might be. And then they canceled my account.
Wow.
Then I got another one. Okay. They canceled my account. I said, okay, fine. I brought another challenge. I think within 4 days or 5 days, I can't remember. I passed the challenge again. And I was very aggressive with it. Again, this comes down to me as a person as well. I understand that, okay, I'm putting X amount into a prop firm challenge. I care about it, but I don't care about it. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't want it to come across rude or arrogant to somebody. But I just understand where I was with it. And I'll be aggressive to pass the challenge. Once I've passed the challenge, that's when I would actually apply the strategy properly, if that makes sense.
Correct. Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree.
So then yeah, I started again. All of that 20K was all done from one 100K account. Or you can call it two 100K accounts because they counted the first one. And in those 100K prop firms, there was a good 30 grand, 40 grand that I didn't get paid out of because they just said, oh, I went $100 over the risk amount or, something stupid. They just didn't want to pay me. But it is what it is. I just accepted what it was. I was like, okay, fine, just carry on, just keep moving.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you have a really good problem that every trader would want to have, right? Like, that like you're profitable right now. It's just like where can you
Mm,
go to maximize the majority of those profits? I mean, you asked me a question, right? Whether prop firm account or personal account.
mm,
And this always kind of falls into kind of like a tricky zone, right? Because I don't understand everybody's financials. I don't understand people and how much
mm,
money they need, how much money they want, what's their goal with this,
yeah.
how active are they in the markets? Like there's a lot of different factors that go into it, but if we were to just look at for, if we were to compare for pros and cons, right? Just looking at it
Mm,
for what they are, not for what's your purpose behind going to each side. I personally think that using a prop firm account is a great way to learn risk management. I think it's a great way to just be forced to follow rules. And on
mm,
top of that, you're able to leverage very low amounts of money to be able to extract very high amounts of money. You buy a 100K account for 500 bucks and then you
yeah.
go 10% in a month, and so you get 80% profits, but you made 8 grand. Like for you to take 500 bucks to 8 grand, flipping it, like don't get me wrong, you could do that,
mm,
but you're probably gonna blow the 500 bucks a couple times. It's a bit more stressful on the mind, right? So basically, to give like a better concrete answer, prop firms is used to leverage low amounts of money to be able to then make higher amounts of money with that little bit of money. The personal account is once you're kind of like at a position where you are right now, where you've made sums of money from the prop firm's accounts, but you want to be able to risk instead of a 1-2% risk 5-6%. You want to be able to
mm,
go into 15-20% drawdown in your account, and then you be able to bring it back up and be able to hold throughout news, be able to just do things that you can't do on a prop firm account. Because a prop firm account teaches you to follow rules and understand that rules are needed to become a successful trader. Now that you understand that rules and you already have been using them on a prop firm account, you can bend some of those rules and decide to use them whenever you want, right? Because you don't always have to risk 1%. You don't always have to risk
mm,
2%. But that is the narrative that has to get spoken to the beginner traders so they can kind of just create a base. Because if you create a base off of, you don't always have to use 1%. You don't always have to trade with two time frames in sync. You don't always have to follow the strategy. Well, what kind of guidance would that be at the start, right? So
mm.
once you kind of learn how that goes, then you can kind of be as free as you can. So if I was you and you're still killing it with the prop firms, I would just try and just continue to milk that as much as you possibly can. And then I would
Mm.
have my personal account where I would just try and flip that as much as I can whenever I feel comfortable with higher amounts of money.
So, like right now, what I was going to do, I was going to put 10K into a personal account and I was going to see how far I can take it. But I didn't know. There's a question. I don't know how much leverage to use, for example. Should it be 1 to 30, 1 to 100? I don't think 1 to 500 is a good shout. Um, I'm not trying to turn 100 to a mil, but yeah, I'm just trying to turn. I just want to see how far I can scale the 10K basically.
Fair.
And risk. I'm okay with risk. If I were to, so especially if I'm in profit, let's just imagine I've got this 10K account. For argument's sake, I've made 5 grand profit. Okay, I'm happy risking that 5 grand plus my initial risk appetite that I had for the next solid trade that I would have. Not to say that I'll just jump into any trade, it has to make sense. And that would be a trade that, I've got everything that I'm usually looking for and some, and then I'll
Okay.
go for it. So I'm cool with risk. I'm okay with losing as well. It is what it is. I'm not dependent on the money, which I'm very fortunate in my position to be in, where my employment is more than sufficient for the way that I live. So this is literally just me just trying to get to that next level where I could potentially leave my employment and go into making trading my full-time source of income. But again, at the same time, in order for trading to be my full source of income, I would have to have something passive. This is me personally. I need something passive coming in so that I'm not reliant on trading, if that makes any sense. I think that'll be the
Right.
smart way to be. Because the last thing I want to do is make emotional decisions with a trade or, risk it all. And then next thing you know, you see me around the corner, saying, hey, Alex, you got $5.
Okay,
So,
so to your first original question, right? What leverage should you have in your personal account? 1 to 30, 1 to 100, 1 to 500.
mhm,
So I do agree that 1 to 500 could be a bit much, but the way I look at leverage is like a credit card limit, right? Let's say you have a credit card and that credit card
mhm.
has a limit of 100 grand, right? 100 pound, that's what you could spend on the credit card in a month. Well, just because you have that, that doesn't mean that the credit card is just going to jump out of your pocket and start swiping and start buying stuff, right? Like, if
Mhm,
you have $100,000 limit on your credit card, you go to the grocery store, you buy milk, you buy eggs, and you buy bread or whatever stuff you buy. That's going to cost $10, $20, $30, whatever the case is. That doesn't really like you having $100,000 credit limit or having a $1,000 credit limit does not affect the value of what you're purchasing. The same exact
correct.
thing goes to the leverage behind the account. If let's say you have a $10,000 account and then you want to risk $1,000 and you have a 1 to 10,000 leverage, which I don't even know if it exists, but if it does, it
Mhm.
doesn't, you won't need like it doesn't matter if you have the 1 to 10,000 leverage. Like all you're really risking is a hundred the
100,000.
yeah.
Okay.
But if you do want to risk, like let's say you have a 1 to 100 leverage, right? And then you then go and take 1,000 or you risk $2,000 and then you take it to 5,000. And then on that next trade, you want to risk the 5,000 plus what you originally were going to risk. There you would just simply need the leverage to be able to actually execute that amount of risk. But you having that like you having that leverage originally won't affect anything. It's just like having it there, but it still doesn't affect anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It gives me clarity on things actually.
Yeah. So I mean,
Okay.
yeah, if I was you, I would just go to the 1 to 500, and whenever you want to
Mhm.
use that, it's there. But if you don't, it doesn't affect the original risk that you were going to put behind the trade.
Okay. All right. All right. No, that helps a lot. I was actually thinking about, creating. I created a Instagram page just yesterday, just before we did this,
Mhm.
and I was going to start documenting where I can take out 10,000.
Please,
Um,
please do.
am I okay to say the name of the firm Instagram page? Is that okay?
Uh, sure, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Forex Fast. It's got
Okay.
nothing on there right now. No pictures, no nothing, no posts, nothing. It's
Uh-huh.
just something that I just thought about doing, and I might do it. I'm just contemplating at the moment. But I just
Okay.
wanted to check it out there. If people want to follow, go great. If not,
Okay.
it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay. I mean, I think that flipping an account is a great way for you to almost like test yourself and
Mm,
you're gonna if you're already on a prop firm, you were being extremely selective on the type of trade that you were taking. On
mm,
flipping an account, you will be 100 times even more selective because you know the type of trade that you're about to take and just make or break everything. So you start almost second guessing yourself every single time. Now that's good. That's a double-edged sword because you tend to focus on better quality types of trades, but it's also
mm,
because some type of trades you'll miss. And that battle right there is what takes you from just being a profitable trader to then a trader that can actually just make big, consistent, and big decision makings with big trades. Like,
mm.
holding a trade from a 1 to 2 to a 1 to 5 to a 1 to 6, how I've done, like, that's not something that you can just teach. Like, that's something that you learn and it almost becomes intuition over time. And experience is the biggest driving force of that. So, doing challenges like what you plan to do now would probably be one of the best things for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Amazing. I appreciate that.
And so right now the way you're trading, so you said you have like a job, even though you're still making money from trading.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? It's I set my alarms on TradingView, right? If it hits, I go look at it. I check your posts. If I see you about to enter a trade, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me see. Like, I missed the trade that you entered. Well, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was USD CAD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that one, but I took USD JPY.
Oh, you
And
got wake you probably got waked out.
no, 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 I didn't get worked out.
Oh, you did it. Oh,
No, no,
fire.
but I entered it very early. So again, like I just accepted where I was. I entered really early at the beginning of Asia, which I don't usually do. And I don't know what happened. It just dropped down. I just got a 1 to 4. I closed it straight away. I was like, thank you very much. My stops were very, very tight on that one, I have to admit.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, when I see you about to post or that you're looking to enter a trade, that's when I'm more. You're like an extra added confidence to me for me. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a compliment to you or not, but once I see that you're about to enter a trade, I'm more engaged in the markets. Otherwise, I've just got my alarm set and I just go about my day. There's been a lot of times where I miss trades because I've been in meetings, but it's what can I do? But
I mean,
I am trying to make it my main source of income though.
okay.
I just I need to get some more passive income. As soon as I
Okay.
get some more passive income that just sustains my lifestyle the way that is, then I'm free to do what I want, basically.
Okay. And were you the only person in your circle that got into trading, or I think you mentioned you had other people that got in there as well?
So I got into trading on my own. Nobody influenced me. But once I got into trading, I understood that there's a few people in my circle that actually do trade as well. They just kept on a low low, that's all.
Okay. And then
Yeah, so
now, like,
then
do you
yeah,
trade with them, or is it just you versus?
no, 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 no. I look at the charts. They're gonna look at this. Yeah, if this comes out, right? They're gonna look at it and think, "You prick, you're talking about me, aren't you?" But I used to look at their charts, and I say to them, I was like, "How the hell are you even looking at the price? Where the price action you can't see because your chart's got like, I don't know, rainbow colors all over it, and all of these lines and all of this sort of stuff. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?" So I can't trade with them. I look at their trades and I listen to everybody's got their own way of trading, right? It's right for them, it's wrong for me. And what I do is right for me, it's wrong for them. So it
Mhm.
is what it is. It's all subjective. But yeah, I can't trade with them because they influence me. So if I say, oh no, that's definitely bearish, and then they say, no, no, that's bullish. Can you not see this? Blah 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 blah. Then I start second guessing myself, and I just said to myself, you know what? Let me just stick to myself.
Of
I
course.
listen to Alex. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I'll stick to myself. That's all.
And are you showing up to the Sunday swings every single Sunday?
100%. One, you know what? You need to do something about, the UK people. Sometimes your time zones. The other
Yeah.
day, the other day, I think it was at like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I wake up. I'm religious with it. As long as I'm not traveling, I'm on holiday. Last time, I can't remember. I think I was in Turkey or something like that. I just watched the recording, but usually I'm there every week. I don't miss that
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah,
because that sets the tone for the week for me.
I think the Sunday swings, putting like the whole entire course aside, the community, I think like that is where the value is at.
100%. I was speaking to Santiago, I think it is. Yeah,
Yes.
and he just asked me for a quick overview, and I said the to put the strategy to the side, right? You got the strategy, it's amazing. Yeah, you need it. But the icing on top of the cake is the fact that you get to jump on calls with you. You break down the trades and you look at your mindset behind the trades. There's been so many times where I've looked at a trade and I analyze the trade and I say, all right, how would Alex look at this trade? And the best thing I can say is just go left. Yeah, look left and see
Mhm.
what's happened in the past. And then just give yourself a reason why to enter into a trade or make your bias or whatever it is. But generally, Sunday swings is probably the best thing. Best thing in trading, honestly.
Yeah. Like after time, right? Like I think the last like 6 months, I think I've realized I'm like, dude, there's been people in here that like they don't even engage in the community. They don't even watch it.
Mm,
They just show up to the Sunday swings. They understand the markets that I'm trading for the week ahead, and they just
yeah.
execute based off of that. And like that should just be more than enough. You if you
Mm,
have a basic understanding of the strategy and you pay a slight attention to Sunday swings, like you're gonna have a higher probability of being profitable than I think anybody out there than just tries to execute a strategy alone because I'm literally giving you my exact trades that I'm trading for the week.
yeah. Yeah, no,
So
exactly. And then, you've broken down all the trades within Sunday swings and the ones that you say to focus on, just focus on them. I think a lot of people within the community, when they start screwing up, let's say, is when they look outside of the trades that you've already defined as the best possible trade setups. And then
mhm.
they go and they take some random trade and say, oh, it didn't work. Yeah, well, you execute the strategy when you shouldn't have, right? You should have focused on the trades that I gave you. So it's key. It's the best thing. Being able to understand where you come from, your psychology, that helps. It's been a game changer for me anyways.
And if you were to give yourself one piece of advice when you got started, what would that be?
Should have paid set and forget a long time ago. Should have joined that strategy straight up. That's what I should have. If I had known, honestly, I would have just jumped on it straight away.
I mean, we're here now, so I guess everything
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
good.
yeah, no, no, no. For all the people that watch this and they second guess and they say, "Oh, Alex, I don't know about this, I don't know about that," because you get a lot of hate.
Oh,
Recently, I saw. I don't know how you handle that, by the way. To keep it so peaceful and amicable. Yeah, I have to because I don't know if I would have handled it in the same way or with so much grace. Let's say. You just end up every time somebody screws around and says something to you, I guess you just end up getting a new car and say, "All right, cool," and you make it, and you wrap it pink to piss them off even more. So you're a legend. You're a legend for that. Yeah, for anybody that doubts you, they really need to look at all of the success stories outside of just you and then see for yourself. I'm living proof. I'm sure I've seen in the community hundreds of people constantly posting, wins, 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 wins. I'm not the type of person that engages in the community too much. I keep to myself. The fact that I'm even on this camera doing this with you is a big thing for me. It's just because I got to speak to you, and that was the main thing I wanted to speak to you directly. So, yeah, to anybody out there that doubts you, just bloody join the community and see for yourself. Right. That's what I would say.
I appreciate that. I know there's so many successful students inside of the community that don't hop on the podcast just because they don't want to be in front of the camera. I'm like, bro, put a mask on or something, but tell people your story. Like, but we have people in there that have turned
Mm,
very small amounts of money to six figures plus, but
no,
I get it. So I do appreciate you, putting your face out here and taking your time out of
no,
your,
no, 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 no,
I mean,
no, no, no. I appreciate you being there. Yeah, I appreciate everything that you've done for me because honestly, you've transformed not only my trading, my psychology, my approach to everything. You've just opened my eyes. So it's been a win-win throughout.
and I'm glad I can be that guy for the beginning. I mean, is there anything you want to ask me? Any questions, anything you want to break down?
I don't know, man. You know what? Before jumping into this, I had so many questions in my head, and it's typical. Now that you're in front of me, I can't
Yeah,
really
but
think of much.
okay, but you didn't write any of them down.
You know, if I write something down, I start mumbling things. I've always been just freestyle. Just
Okay.
go in there and just say what you feel, how you wanna, how I wanna answer the questions. It was more to do with the personal accounts, really. How to scale it. What would you recommend? You've given me insight on that. In terms of my trade history, there is questionable trades on there. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
if I showed them to you, you'd be like, I don't know, what the hell are you doing here? Uh, but there's a lot of times where I actually, on average, my average return is like a 1 to 4, 1 to 5. So
Wow.
I hit those quite, and sometimes 1 to 10s, 1 to 12. It's crazy.
You've gotten 1 to 10 risk to reward trades.
One trade. I've got a screenshot of it. I risked, I think, 2 grand, and I was floating 30K profit.
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With a
It's
one,
crazy.
what the with a 1 to 12 risk. Wow. I
Yeah.
can't remember the last time I got that. Like,
No, you don't need it, man. Shit.
yeah, yeah.
For you, everybody's in a different part of the journey, right? I think in your situation, you're cool with 1 to 2 because you've got so much risk behind it. For me to make it, I don't know if the right word is exciting or worth it. I don't know. That's why my stops are slightly different because I try to get, not, I'm not being greedy. I just tried to get a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. But when I turned that 2 to like 30K, I was floating 30K. I remember I was getting a haircut.
We have no hair.
I know, I know, man. I was shaving my hair and
Okay.
I was trimming my beard. So then I just looked down. I was like, oh shit, 30K. I was like, all right, let me finish this haircut and see where it goes. So I finished the haircut. I was walking with my wife. I was like, all right, I think I should close this now. Yeah, I'm being greedy here. Like that, I think I closed it at like 29K or something like that. I got the screenshot. I can send it to you. Yeah.
How did that make you feel at that moment? Did you feel anything? Were you nonchalant? Was it like a cool moment?
Yeah, I was inside. I think it's hard to put into words. I was cool about it. I was like, all right, cool. I know what I'm doing. It was more of a reassurance thing. The fact that I can be floating in profit of 30K and not care as well. I know a lot of people would have crumbled at 5 or 10 or 12 or if it 15K. So it just made me realize that where I am mentally as well. Okay, if I do have a larger account and I want to, I don't know, hold a trade and it's floating 60, 70, whatever K, I can do that. So it was good in that sense, and I was happy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, kind of thing. But yeah, I showed my missus. I was like, yeah, see, I told you, millionaire soon. Don't worry.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're definitely getting close for sure. So, I mean, if
yeah.
you're killing it in the prop firm accounts like that, I would try and
Mm,
just keep it going, maximize it, but start going to personal, bro, because in personal,
mm,
you just really need, and the fact that you don't need the funds is huge because you
mm,
can just compound that shit, Like I mean, I haven't withdrawn from my personal account in like 3 months. Like I don't need to
yeah.
withdraw from it, thank God. So
Mm,
I just keep it going, and just it gets bigger, 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 and then it just gets to the point where you've made 100, 200% on the account without even realizing because you just constantly have left the money in there.
yeah. Because like right now on my prop firms, I've got I think 900K prop firm accounts. They're in challenge phases. Yeah, so but they're all positive. I'm very close to completing them. I've got one that's funded. My other accounts that I had the withdrawals from, they cancelled my account. So I said, all right, fine, let me just go to a different prop firm. And then within a week, I got another prop firm account pass. and now I'm just working on just getting loads of. I know you. Actually, here's a question for you. You did say that if you get so many prop firm accounts, it's like gambling. It's not a good idea. Or did I mishear that or something?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying. What I was trying to do is get a mil, 2 mil funded. You probably heard this a million times, anyways. Get a certain amount funded, and then just alternate the risk. Do 1% here, 1% there. Manage to do 5% a month or something on something like a mil, 2 mil. That would be ideal, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's more than enough. 5% is five to 8% a month is like where the like that's perfect, you know. Having too many accounts is gambling. Maybe I don't remember saying something like that.
Yeah, I might have misheard it. But right
Yeah,
now, it does mess around with you when you've got too many accounts. When you want to enter and trade. So sometimes when I'm entering into a trade, I'm really certain about that. I have to flip in between all the accounts and just enter the same trade. But apart from that, it is what it is. That's my plan, anyways, to continue growing the funded accounts while they last. They're not going to last forever, I don't think. So I
yeah,
just utilize it as much as possible. For me, it just looks like free money to me right now because it's not my capital.
for
And
sure.
then grow that, and with that new challenge that I'm going to plan to do, is take that 10K and see how far I can go. I do personally, I believe in myself. I do think that I can take it to six figures relatively soon. Maybe I'm not. I'm thinking towards the end of the year soon, kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see where I am towards the end of the year. I'll hit you up
Yeah.
and I'll see.
Yeah, I mean, so like to give you some context, we've done multiple second podcasts, like follow-ups with
Mm,
students, and like we like literally this whole entire week we've dedicated to that. So like we had a
mm,
student where about and he's in the UK too, funny enough. He's from the UK, right? And
yeah.
we told him that if he successfully made, I think it was 10% for like 2 months consistently, that guy would fund him 10,000. He made like 300%. We had another
Mm,
student where he made his first 40,000, then he made 100,000. We did a part two. So I would love to, to do a part two with you once you complete your
yeah.
challenge. And then there we
Yeah,
kind of
it'll be amazing.
yeah, we talk about your journey there. I think that would be sick.
Yeah, no, it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing.
Cool. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I love this. I love the fact that, you're already having the mindset that you don't need the money right now and you're using this
Mm,
almost like a side hustle, but not giving a side hustle like a time. You understand this needs the proper
mm,
time and the proper dedication. So that already
yeah.
put you ahead of the game and that you're ready to take on and take the next step to scale. I'm excited to see where your challenge goes from here. So
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out again. Like I said, you must have had a busy day. I'm sure you've been jumping on podcasts with loads of people today.
yeah, I've had 5 hours back to back. Bye, bye, bye,
Man, 5 hours. The fact that you're taking, time out of your weekend to do this,
Yeah.
my hat's off to you, man. Honestly.
I appreciate it, bro. Well, I wish you loads of success in your challenge
Thanks.
and hope to see you soon once again.
All right, wicked. Thanks, man.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
very much.
taking the time out again. Cheers.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Set us
Cheers,
free,
bro.
brother.
Take care.